Oh man, good morning. Woo. Back from Nashville, huh? And what a city it's been. Do you know they have a street called Broadway? And wow, that was fun. It's not like I really went there to party, but I still wanted to see what the city was all about. And oh my god, it was a blast. Like just watching in all honesty, the city has a reputation for bars and whiskey and I guess line dancing and things like that. And it lived up to it. It lived up to it. So that was that. I have that kind of hair day today, guys. That too. But I didn't forget about you guys. Let me know what you think about Friday's video. Friday's headlines. I tried to capture, I guess, my overall thoughts on where the ceasefire stood and stuff like that. And also, yesterday I released that commentary on Jay Powell that I've been mentioning for weeks on end at this point. Let me know what you think of that too. Okay, so there was that, and then also for the next couple of weeks, I have commentaries, again, short, under 10 minutes or so, being released Sundays at 9. The chat is open, so you can we can engage with those. I may play around with the time, but they're going to be released Sundays at 9 for now. So yeah, that's really all I have. Let's see some comments before we go into the headlines of the day today. Let's get this up. Good morning, Bob, Tammy, Ham White. Good to see you on your username. Nancy, Victor. Oh, did I see Victor? Yes, I saw Victor. Harvey, Kate. All right. Good morning, everybody. All right, fantastic. Okay. A few headlines that I really want to get into today. Okay, so let's begin with the Strait of Hormuz blockade. So I was reading some whoa, let me back up. I was reading some right-wing publications, and they were saying that Trump's genius is in this plan B of, if Iran is not capitulating to the US, then the plan B is the US blockades the strait themselves. I'm not quite sure what the advantage to blockading it is. I guess, what does the term blockade mean? Does the term blockade mean nothing gets through, or nothing gets through unless the US grants them access? So why Trump is threatening to blockade a strait that is already blockading? Well, that's the headline at CNN. So here's what CNN says. The strait isn't technically closed. Iran has been gradually allowing some tankers through in exchange for a toll up to $2 million per ship. And crucially, Iran has been allowing its own oil to pass in and out of the region throughout the war. Iran has managed to export an average of 1.85 million barrels of crude a day through March, about 100,000 barrels a day more than the previous 3 months, according to data and analytics from Kepler. By closing off the strait, Trump could cut off a key source of financing Iran's government and military operations. So the advantage to blocking off the strait, I guess, is saying, you think you have control, now I have control. I thought so, and thinking back to a different war positioning Trump could have taken, wasn't blockading Karg Island? Oh, Nancy, I'm getting to Swallwell. I'm getting to Swallwell because I definitely want a piece of that about of that news coverage. I was so going back to the blockade. I I, I thought Trump was actually going to listen to someone competent in Admiral Stavridis and say blockade Karg Island instead of, let's say, take it over or something like that, so that he can choke the Iranians. But again, I think I've said this in previous streams. I cannot believe that Iran is still transacting, and I mean, aren't they in a fight for their life? Um, yeah, I just how are they importing and exporting oil that they're saying to shatter the Iranian economy? What economy is there during this war? It's I can't wrap my head around that. So that's what I have to say about that. Starmer says the UK will not support the US blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. Starmer is getting more and more fed up with all the geopolitics in the region, be it Russia, be it the United States. Frankly, I don't know what power he has, what pull he has. Surely a NATO power, and surely, I guess, a mid-tier navy. But let's see how that affects everything. Okay. Now, going back to, here we go. Congressman Eric Swallwell exits California governor's race after assault allegations. His rivals seek his supporters. All right. I tried reading into this last night. I haven't found anything but accusations. Is there any hint of something substantiated with Swallwell? I mean, I don't see any proof of him of any validity behind sexual harassment and rape. The charges should be taken seriously. But I have a huge problem. I have a huge problem with guilt by accusation. Ham White, you're commenting that you're happy Swalwell was withdrawn from the race and now he needs to leave Congress, and or until a clear legal investigation is completed. I mean, a legal investigation is more than welcome in my thinking, but why should he have to leave Congress? We're innocent until proven guilty in this country now. The guilt by accusation is what gets me, and yes, that's a Alan Dershowitz line. Ham White, 4 accusers, and the rape victim did go to the hospital and confirm with a 3D party. I mean a third party. Okay, let's see. Okay, I mean, if there's more than just an accusation. So you see, I didn't see that piece of info, and I went looking for it last night. If that's true, then sure. I mean, then maybe some higher disciplinary measures are intact or in order. I can't. Yeah, but I just can't say that guilt by accusation is the way to do things. As for expulsion from the House, people are bringing that up. And I'm also thinking to myself, I mean, would it take for us to expel, let's say, George Santos? George Santos should have been expelled. Thank God he was expelled. If more substantiation comes out, maybe what Hamilton just told me, maybe that's enough. But I have to look into that more now. But to expel him from the House, if there's more there, then yeah, perhaps expulsion is in order if he doesn't resign himself. But again, sexual assault and rape, I mean, that's serious stuff, and it should be investigated. Again, it's the most important thing to me is that we maintain in this country innocent until proven guilty. Innocent and not guilty simply because somebody accused you of something. I see Nancy's comment. Charles, he's now a liability. They don't give a shit whether he did the deed or not. Unfortunately, I guess that's the world of politics. The law is maybe a little different. Ham White, we should expect a higher standard from our elected leaders. I'm not suggesting expulsion, but rather a voluntary withdrawal. Well, Ham, back at you. He voluntarily withdrew from the governor's race. Now, are you expecting him to also voluntarily resign from Congress? Yeah. So I'm watching these comments scroll by here. That's really my take. That's really my take. He admitted that he had made mistakes between him and his wife, but that's between him and his wife. You have to respect that. The New York Post. Now, I don't think this really facilitates bipartisanship in this country. Has an exclusive piece. Billionaire kicks Swallwell out of his mansion and wants $1 million back after heinous sex allegations. I mean, good old New York Post doing what New York Post does. And that's that comment. That's that comment. Continue to comment here. Suen, good morning. I didn't see you before. And hello, Pete. That's what I wanted to cover on that particular headline, and I did want to make sure that I got to it. Another headline. There's another two I want to get to. Oh, look at that. Usually I do two headlines, and I'm just going past them today. Viktor Orban lost in Hungary. Now it all makes sense. I didn't even know Hungary was set for new elections, but Vance was there. What was it, last week or 10 days ago, something like that? I didn't know supporting Orban this close to an election. I had no idea. Fabrizio, good morning. I haven't seen you in a while. Or maybe you just haven't commented in a while. He could have been here. Back to Orban. I had no idea Vance was really campaigning at the slightest edge of an election taking place in Hungary. And apparently Orban has been in power for 16 years and no more. And Orban conceded. So for all that talk that he's an autocrat and will never relinquish power, wow. I will also mention there's a great piece out there saying that perhaps Orban's defeat may ease Hungary's tensions with the European Union. This is a New York Times reporting article. Let's see. So yeah, you have like Axios reporting that it's an earthquake in Hungary. Senator Mitch McConnell, Fox News reporting. Hungary's voters offer a lesson for those on the right drawn to Orban. I mean, I just saw on Fox News Sunday yesterday one of the Republican candidates vying for Mitch McConnell's seat. I sort of wonder what his legacy is going to be, given that his time in Congress is coming to an end. I mean, the powerhouse he is or was, or I'm inclined to click that article. Oh wow, it's an article by Mitch McConnell. It's not coverage of Mitch McConnell. Let me see if I could just take some excerpts out for you guys right now. Let's see. You know what? I have a built-in AI to my browser here. I want to take out an excerpt and read it out to you guys if it decides to load. Give me a key quote. So AI can skim this a lot better, more accurate than me. So let's see what AI comes back within this article. And I'm going to put this article in the chat here. Boom. Article is now in the chat. Okay. So AI failed me. Not the point. I want to see what Mitch McConnell has to say about this. Last but not least, I wanted to hit on Trump and the Pope. So Trump obviously came out in his very peaceful and civilian and amicable way of saying the Pope in such a reverent way is weak. And of course, I say that in a bunch of sarcasm there. Pope Leo responds and says he has no fear after Trump labels him weak and, quote, terrible and feud over the Iran war. Here's something that actually a few people commented on my video. They said that Christianity calls for the lessening of war and the promotion of peace. What I don't understand, maybe because I'm not a Christian, is what the difference is between the Catholics' position on war, violence, waging holy war, defense, and peace. There's no question Jesus was a promoter of peace. But the history of the church is not all that peaceful. So if there's anybody in the comments that can preach to this, maybe, I could probably go back and forth with AI about this, and they can educate me a lot better than any of my resources probably can right now. You wonder what the Pope has to do with the U.S. and Iran war. Maybe it has to do with the Pope corrupting some of Trump's base to be against him, and Trump wants to come out against the Pope. Trump also came out ripping Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson for being against this war. I guess using the pulpit he has to make sure his position is understood. Back to Pope Leo. He's also been unusually direct in his criticism of the U.S. and Israel's war on Iran, not to mention Easter last week. Trump leveled his criticism of the Pope in remarks to reporters on social media. This is NBC News reporting. We don't like the Pope that's going to say that it's okay to have a nuclear weapon. We don't want a Pope to say that crime is okay in our cities. I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of Pope, Trump said. Of the Pope Leo, Trump said. He posted on Truth Social, Pope Leo is weak on crime and terrible for foreign policy. Okay. All right. The Pope is not spooked. That's okay, right? And they have coverage direct from Vatican City. For those interested in the coverage of this story, as well as the first Holy Week weekend in the top job of the papacy. All right. Okay. That's all right. One other point, another caveat here. Dow futures are falling 450 points now. Well, the market's open in an hour. The announcements and the manipulation that Trump is conducting this war with in regards to the timing of the markets is so flagrant. Making certain announcements on Friday and certain announcements on the weekend, certain announcements after the market closes. Flagrant. NASDAQ is reportedly up 0.35. Dow Jones down 0.56. S&P down 0.11. All right. Bitcoin is sliding to 71,000-ish. Okay. So that's what's happening there. I'll engage with some comments, everybody, and then we'll go off to work. What do you say? Let's see here. I'm White. I'm not an RC, but you're missing the point about the Pope or the Catholic Church globally today. We're not back in the 13th century. Well, here's what so I still want more explanation, me personally, into what the change in philosophy is. Yeah, I'm not saying that the church should be stuck in the 13th century or any other violent period thereafter. What I'm saying is the church followed some justification then. And did that justification change from then till today? Like, I think what the church did in 81 or 83, calling the council of something where they revised a whole bunch of doctrines. Did they reinterpret scripture in a certain way where maybe violence is wrong or holy war was wrong? Where does the church fall in terms of their philosophy on defense, preemptive defense, or imminent defense? Either one. I only say this out of a place of ignorance. I don't say this out of a place of criticism, because the church is clearly taking a stance in this situation. And how can they do that given their history? And, scripture doesn't change. Approaches and interpretations do. And that approach and interpretation is what I'm getting at. I don't see how it changed from the more violent era of the church until now. Okay. So Kate is saying, if Biden ever did such a thing, what are you talking about? So yeah, Tammy is saying Trump as a Jesus figure healing someone, Kate. Well, if Biden ever did such a thing, well, Biden was the actual Catholic. That's the funny part. Alrighty, let's engage with some more comments here. Ham White saying Vance and Trump called into Hungary over the past weekend. Surprised he conceded. I am too. Expected he would fight back. This is good for the EU and NATO. I was expecting to see a replay of, let's say, voter fraud, January 6th. It followed its way into Israel when Netanyahu was losing or lost for like that 1 year period. I think that, that played in there. M3, and he conceded. Yes, he conceded. I can't believe we're saying this. It's a good thing. Until January 6th, I didn't think that it was even up for negotiation to not concede. Ham White, and I am not a crook. You won't find that many people my age who will get that reference. Okay. All right. So we covered a lot of ground today, ladies and gentlemen. And I will tell you, it's good to be back live. Tammy Moran, Just War Theory. Do you know I met Professor Walzer, Michael Walzer? I think he was the one who came up with the book in Just War Theory, or I guess Defensive War. He was, I don't know what he's up to these days. Professor at Princeton. I actually spent a weekend there for a mock Jewish court competition. Yeah. So there was a situation. There was a situation where I think somebody killed somebody in self-defense, and we had to litigate it according to Jewish litigation law. It was really cool. So that was something that I did in the last days of my college experience. So that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, I will tell you, like I said, it's great to be back live, and I am reworking my email system. I'm looking to make it, I guess, more efficient, more better. And I'm also in the middle of launching a new website called shakalo.report. You'll see it all over now if you go to my YouTube channel. It's spelled seriously just like my channel. So not .com or anything like that. Whoops. You see, even I screwed up my comment. Let me delete that. Here. Boom. So not shakalo.com, shakalo.report. So that was cool. I guess that's what I'm going to be calling this. I started out with a marketplace of ideas and stuff like that. But ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you thought of yesterday. If you're not subscribed, please do. You can join this community. We're all nice, friendly people. And, or so I think, right? And then, interesting. You couldn't access the website this morning. Let's see. Yeah. It's not functioning correctly. All right. So I have my stuff to work on. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good night. I'll see you, or night, day. I'll see you on Wednesday, everybody. And